out your hands.
It's trying to, Mary.
Dat monster. Hoe komen we erop? Ik word degelijk.
Ja, alright, ja.
En dan is hij echt heel oké. Zit je dat als redder? En dan komt hij gewoon weer. Flikkers een shell en een redstuk naar de man toe, of niet?
Ja, dat denk ik hoor, ja.
The lead as he brings first one convoy and now the next convoy up the hill. Hopefully at the end of the day, at the end of the battle, there will be no need to go back down the hill. They will be the masters of the field and can occupy the high ground of Senlac Ridge. Well, I think maybe Duke William is going to spare his horses and to save that horsepower for the battle at 3 o'clock. But nevertheless, as this enormous column of mounted knights comes past you, please put your hands together to show your appreciation for the man who will soon be King of England, as well as Duke of Normandy. Ladies and gentlemen, William the Conqueror! O'clock. Yep, 1066 warriors for the Battle of 1066, and we have just a small amount of them here today for the 12 noon warriors of 1066. So if you think this is a lot of warriors, you ain't seen nothing yet. Come back at 3 o'clock and there will be many, many more besides. Hopefully everyone will end up with some infantrymen near them so you can see the weapons, the equipment, and the grim, ugly faces of the warriors who will be... You are hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you enjoy the demonstration of the horsemen and indeed the foot soldiers of 1066. They and the rest of their compatriots, their comrades, their brothers in arms, and indeed sisters in arms, if you look very closely, will be in action again.
Are you official? Are you what? What did you just say?
Gentil et très joli. Aimons les Français parce qu'ils sont très gentils et très jolis. It's a traditional English song. We sing it all the time.
This is it, ladies and gentlemen, your king come here to defend the English rights against those foreign invaders. It's Harold Godwinson, King of England!
Ja, Paul maakt het niks uit als
And as is always the case, the leader has to heart to the Norman army if he wins. And the first blow is struck. A lone Saxon champion comes out to deal with Taillefer. And now the Norman knight on his horse shows his nimbleness, his agility, and above all his power. Trading blow for blow with the Saxon. Who are you going to support, ladies and gentlemen? Will it be Taillefer for the army of Normandy?
No.
The English champion for Saxon England! Well, it seems there's a danger our English champion may be overwhelmed. So, more soldiers come in. They're hacking at Taillefer. If one man can't do it, maybe six can. They're surrounding him. They're hacking. They're queuing. Can he stay in the saddle? He's static.
Ja.
The arrows are making little impact upon the English. But nevertheless, this was just us to pass through the archers and engage. And the bowmen now cease shooting because their own infantry come level. The two sides are within insult distance. They hurl abuse at each other as well as rocks and arrows. The few Saxon archers behind the Saxon shield wall attempt to lob their arrows into the heads of their opponents. But they aren't stopping. They keep on coming. In three huge blocks on the right, on the left and in the centre. They're almost there. They're almost on the shield wall. Steady, boys, steady. Here they come! Here they come! And the centre is engaged. On the flanks, the Norman left and right approaches. The axemen go in first to try and disrupt the Normans. But the line continues on. Contact! The left and the right are in contact. The whole Saxon... It's a bloody, chaotic affair, attempting to disengage and retreat down the hill without sustaining more casualties. But William and his men must do it, because he has one more weapon in his arsenal. Look, ladies and gentlemen, at the bottom of the hill, who has he not yet thrown into the action? Who has he not yet thrown into the fray? The might of the Norman cavalry. watching as their infantry disengage and retreat down the hill. The cavalry needs space to charge, but when it does, by golly, little will be able to stand in its way. Little will be able to stop it. Let us see if they, the knights, can sweep this shield wall, this English shield wall from the top. Here they come. The massed ranks of the Norman Knights at the walk, at the trot. They're getting closer. Ladies and gentlemen, the crisis is upon us. Here come the Norman Knights. They're cantering. The lancers come down. They're galloping. Here it comes. Well, incredibly, the shield wall has resisted the initial charge, the initial impetus. And now they're skirmishing with the Saxon shield wall, but they have not broken it. The shield wall stands firm. Ladies and gentlemen, the shield wall stands firm! Archers, infantry, cavalry, and yet England still stands firm. Heads and the deadly rain of missiles that are about to be unleashed upon it. And the arrows fly again. Dozens of arrows with every volley unleashed upon the English. Very handful of English archers in turn can reply. Again, the majority of archers left behind at the battlefield of Stamford Bridge, where they were victorious and unable to keep up on the punishing march to London and down. The infantry are almost level with their own archers. Here they come, here they come. Look at that implacable roar of steel. Grim-faced killers ready to claim a kingdom, to snatch it with a bloody hand from the grasp of the English here, who are all that stand between William the Bastard and victory. Here they come, here they come. They're almost on the English. They close. Crashing home in the centre. The heavily armed Normans at the centre engage first. Over on the Norman left, the Bretons from Brittany crash home as well. And once again, battle is engaged across the whole of the Saxon shield wall. The Franco-Flemish on the Norman right, they're almost on the shield wall as well. The Saxon right pushing hard against their counterparts on the Norman left. This could prove problematic for William. I can see the Bretons on the Norman left. They are giving ground. This could to the English. English left this chase. They're breaking ranks. This could go one of two ways. victory for the English, or it could mean disaster. Look at this, William throwing in his convoys to try and stem the tide of retreat. He's been convoys in a rear attack to try and stem the retreat of the Bretons to avoid the collapse of his left flank. But it's still not working. William himself must personally lead this attack.
Ze hebben er nu met 2 omsingeld. Ze moeten die groep omsingelen.
Now William's cavalry are swirling, they're trying to stem the tide of the Breton rout. It seems as though the Bretons have halted. Will the English retreat back up the hill? I believe they will. During that mad swirling melee, he led a personal charge, and he has been unhorsed. Has he been killed? Wait, what's that? Do I see a red cloak on a horse? I believe William is back on his horse. He has not been killed. But his army is thrown into confusion. Word spreads like wildfire. Has the Duke of Normandy been killed? He hasn't, but the army don't know that. They've taken fright. They're disheartened. If your leader is down, you must prove that you are still alive. Look, William is now galloping back up the hill to show himself, to prove that he is still alive, to prove to his army that he is not down, that he remains a conqueror, that he will possibly be by the end of the day.
Ik denk dat het zo niet ging inderdaad houden. En dan zou die William wel heel snel doodgaan.
Look at me! See my face! I still live! Those English
Dit is maar wel gevaarlijk, joh.
Brave words, and it's done the trick. The Norman army has stemmed its retreat. They know their leader, Duke William, is still alive. Unleashes cavalry once more. The horsemen are indeed coming up once more. Skirmishing with the English right, moving on to the English centre. Maybe their true intentions lie with the English left. Certainly this is what trickery. And what he plans to do is unleash the knights of his Franco-Flemish contingent on his right-hand flank, send them up against the English of the left flank, and try and encourage them to break the discipline of the shield wall. The so-called fade.
Ja, joh.
Once more, William personally leads his troops. And once again, they cannot break the shield wall. And now they turn their attentions to that English flank.
Ja.
Can they attempt to turn it? Can they tease the Saxon troops to chase them down the hill?
Ja.
Knowing that they can't break the shield wall any other
Dan 10
way.
mensen achter elkaar daar.
The Norman knights have to feign a retreat down the hill.
En ze is stom gebleven. Maar die... Maar ze is straks meer aangehouden. Ja, sowieso die tactiek nog niet tussen. Zo is het dan goed gegaan.
Ja, waarvan?
Ja, hij gaat slijmen met zijn paarden.
Wie? Heddle?
Ja, nee.
As he is cruel. My brother Gareth will never be taken in by such a cheap and obvious ploy. Still. Quickly! A messenger! Pass the word to my brother to hold his men back.
Maar nu ziet het er inderdaad wel heel dom uit dat hij steeds een vlucht naar één
He is not to take the bait. Hold! Hold! I always only stop them! We will find a this may cost us the battle. Even the kingdom it.
This is disaster for the Saxons. King Harold must rally his forces. He must climb to address his men.
Men of England, stand firm. Stand your ground and hold the shield wall.
Die zal daar maar liggen en die, kijk, die paarden die zijn er binnen een meter lang.
England holds. William the Bastard is a master of
Kijk, hij keert zich al om.
many brave warriors have fallen, including my own brother. But we've got
Dat is ontzettend waar.
Wat zei je, Niels?
Nou, die lag daar en die deed als het schild over.
The Normans now outnumber the English. Their archers come forward once more, raining arrows down upon the denuded English forces. In a moment, the infantry and cavalry will be thrown in, and this time, that shield will surely surround the king, his personal bodyguards that are attempting to shield the body of the king from those missiles. What's that? The king is down! Surely not. Reports are coming back that an arrow has struck the king. Has William of Normandy seen it?
An arrow! He's hit! I saw him stagger! My lord. Good Winsor! Harold, Hasting! Harold was truly guided by God, your grace, and we must give thanks to him. Yes, there will be coming up for that water as well. I saw him struck with the head, but his armor failed. If he's merely wounded, we must make sure and quickly before night falls upon us.
Norman cavalry are behind the shield wall. The shield wall faces two directions. The collapse is imminent. The Normans are in. The defensive position has failed.
Ja, dat deden wij dus ook met het spelletje dat wij doorheen kwamen. En toen hadden wij gewonnen.
Timeline of Norman assault is washing up Senlac Hill. Ladies and gentlemen, the end is indeed nigh. Victory for William of Normandy! Now exhorts the Norman army to fall to its knees, to give thanks to God for this incredible victory today. So I will call upon you hopefully some small flavour of the fighting, the bitter fighting that took place here 950 years ago. And of course, a new era dawned for Saxon England. Indeed, Saxon England was no more. Norman England would be the way forward. Even before the last warrior was buried on the battlefield. The Norwegian Vikings, who played such an important but doomed part in the campaign of 1066, recounted the tale of Hastings in their epic poem, the Heimskringla, which summed up the Norman conquest like this.
William came o'er the sea, with bloody sword came he, cold heart and bloody hand, now rule the English land.
And so followed the Norman conquest. And the churches and castles of Norman England sprang up from north to south and from east to west, and Saxon England was no more. Well, if you want to learn more, then go and buy some books in our retail store, or indeed go and ask our panel of experts over in the literary stage in the ruins just behind us. But if you've enjoyed our presentation, please can I ask you to put your hands together one final time. Well, our two armies are going to march off. The Normans back to the encampment at the east end of the field, the Saxons throwing just encampment to the west of the field. I sincerely hope you enjoyed the presentation. And give them a cheer as they come past your location. The confusion of battle is evident. It will take some time for our warriors to reform. But as I said, I hope you've enjoyed our presentation. William the Conqueror today was played by Michael Sand and voiced by Peter Holbrook.